what what is that thing that does separate that kid from the kid on court one to the kid on court five? Like same position, same look, same build. I always say I think you got to be a little bit insane to kind of be up there and
Yeah.
go over these people. Like I call it a switch that doesn't turn off.
Yeah.
Like there is no
So
okay, deep
would you
breath.
say that, like, would motor be another word for that? A high motor?
I think so. I think it's even beyond a motor. I think there's a like a mental focus that's like when you put a magnifying glass in front of the sun and
Mhm.
it narrows in, but it's always like that on everything. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I see.
Yeah. So I you have to you have to focus on your sport, on your craft, like it is the only thing that matters. And obviously, part of that focus has to be on school, right? Because you have to be eligible. Um, but there's nothing else. There are no parties. There's hardly any vacation because you're always doing your sport. Um, there's there no if you have a day off, you're resting, you're fueling your body, you're doing recovery, rehab. And you that the kid that's going D1, the kid that's going D1 and that's going high major loves that.
Yeah. It's not
They're not,
work.
nope, they're not sitting there thinking, oh, dag. It's, prom is coming up. I wish I could go, to prom. I wish I could go to the after parties. I wish I could go to homecoming. That's not even on their radar.
Yeah.
That's not even on their radar. And a lot of parents will say, well, she still needs to be a kid.
It's like not
Okay,
if you
she's
want this
gonna be
to do
a kid
this
at home,
for
right?
money.
Right. She's gonna be a kid at home. She's not going because she's not going D1. She's just not. She may not even get to play D2.
Yeah.
Because it's getting, if we're going to be really honest and look at the situation and what's happening now, it's harder. It's getting harder and harder because now, obviously, we have the transfer portal, um, which makes it super difficult, even more so now for high school kids
Yeah.
to get that opportunity.
They're gonna
To,
have to start lower and then kind of build from that. And it's the man. It's just I wish people like really knew. I wish they knew somebody that did it, so then they can go and just kind of be next to them and be like,
that's
oh, it's
how
actually this. Because I always say like, what's hard to you is easy to me. What's hard to
yeah,
me, or what's hard to me is easy to LeBron. And so it's
yes.
like the just the they don't even know what it looks like in real time. Because I know a kid that went. I saw him from his freshman year build
Hmm.
himself up to go D1, and I tell these kids like I kid you not, every single day that I was at the Y, either he was leaving when I was showing up, or I was leaving when he was showing up, or he was already there like halfway through his workout, or like. But I always saw this same kid, build himself up, and then he goes to like Oklahoma State and plays basketball there. So I'm like, it's not a it's not an accident. It's not just like
No.
okay, you're good and you got attributes. It's like no, there's also the just the being like relentless with
Yes,
it.
relentless, relentless. Yes. I tell people all the time, success leaves clues, just like you're saying, like just y- follow somebody, just follow somebody on social media. They're probably not posting as much as you are because they're working now, but at some point they were where you are, you know?
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to do. Just listen to what I'm telling y'all and just try it. Just try it.
yeah,
See what happens.
yeah. Because they all had school, they all had homework, so it's
They
not an
all
excuse of
did.
like
Right.
that. I'm like that every player that's made it had to go through that at some point. So it's not a how do I balance this? It's do the schoolwork and go to the gym. There's
Right.
nothing good luck outside of that.
No,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right.
And the last point on that is when people bring up like the multi-sport and things like that, and playing a lot of sports, like is there a cutoff where you say like, okay, and it's different obviously for elite athletes,
Yeah.
like they can continue to do their sport, but for the ones that aren't like an elite level athlete, is there a cutoff point to where it's like, okay, by this age you got to make a decision of what direction you're going to go if you're trying to reach the highest levels? Because I tell kids I did everything in middle school. My freshman year I'm like, I'm playing basketball, don't ask me about football, don't ask me about track.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, First of all, I agree with you that, for elite level kids, it's different. They can, we've got plenty, there are plenty of kids at my son's high school at DeMatha that are two sport athletes, but they're different. They can do that, right?
Yeah.
And get offers in both sports. They can do that. Um, I really think I'm thinking like by seventh grade, you need to be kind of locked in. If you're trying to go Division 1,
Yeah.
you need to be locked in by seventh grade on one sport, one sport. Um, and
Because it just
I
takes too many
know
hours.
it takes too many hours. And people say, oh, it's so great, when a kid plays different sports. But that's not realistic. Nobody's going to be playing multiple sports and going to the highest level in both of them. Like you got to pick one so you can create your recruiting plan and then get on that path and follow it to the end.
Yeah, I agree. And I think
Yeah.
it's, I hate the message of, well, this person did multi sport and this person and that person. And I'm like, they don't know what I don't think they understand what we said before, like the term relentless and the eliteness that it
It
takes, and
don't, right,
the detail
right,
that you have to study. Because
right.
like Kevin Durant made a great quote. He said like the amount of research that goes into being good, not just like playing, the researching of what this person did and
That's
what
right.
technique you got to have, and like it's,
Right.
and people are just like kind of feel like you can make it up as you go. I'm like, that doesn't exist. No one
No,
makes it up as they go and makes it to that
no.
level.
And I mean, yeah, you can you can make it up as you go, and maybe, maybe you can get on with the NAIA school, or maybe, you can pay to go to school and play at a D3. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
but it's not a chance I would be willing to take if I had
yeah.
an elite athlete. Yeah.
And with like the choosing the school, um, I think,
Mm,
I always have the idea of the situation that you go to is far more important than the level or the brand behind it. Even if you do want to be a professional, it's like you might have to start at the D1 because it just, or the D2 because it just fits better, instead of going to
right.
the D1 where it's a high risk of whether you're actually going to succeed or not. Like, how do you see the thought process in choosing a school for an athlete?
Yeah. Um, I think that fit is most important, and that's because the goal for me, for my family, the goal is to get into school and graduate free of debt.
Yeah,
Okay? So graduation is the goal for my kids. Possibly along the way, opportunities will come up where maybe you can make some money doing this after you graduate or before you graduate, right? But we're working toward a free degree. That's why we sacrificed and made this decision as a family that we were going to pursue athletic scholarships. Um, and now I forgot the question already,
oh, it
Coach.
was kind of
Oh,
around,
fit,
yeah,
fit,
fit and
right. How
choosing
to
the right
choose the
school.
right school. All right. So fit is the most important thing for me. And I always say go where you're wanted, not where you want.
Yes,
And that's even more true in today's climate, right?
because you'd be
So
lucky to be wanted at this point. So you better
that's
take that
true,
off. You
right?
better go.
You need to like let's look at I use what I call a matrix, which has there are about 18 or maybe 25 items on this list, and we would fill it out after each visit. So while it's fresh in your mind, so we can make sure we're comparing the same things about each school, right? So if we happen to say we went to or took a visit to Oregon State in maybe February, and then we take a visit to Texas A&M in the spring, well, the weather is going to be very different, right? So we need to be clear before we get there what is important to you, to the student athlete, what's important to the family. So we can rank these things and have a number, a composite number, and say, okay, based on everything that you said was important to you, this is your first choice. This right here is off the list completely because of the weather or because of the distance from home or because of the fact that none of your family is going to ever be able to come see you because you're so far. Or maybe this school does not have your major, or maybe this school has four sophomores and juniors ahead of you. And so you're not going to get any time until they graduate. If that's important to you, and
Yeah.
some people it's not important to, but you need to be aware of this. Um, what is the campus culture like? Um, it's not like you, as a D1 athlete, you're not going to have a lot of free time to be going out to parties and stuff. But if football is important to you, does the team have a football? Does the school have a football team? What is the fan support like? If you want to, the stadium to be packed, you need to look at what's the fan support like. Of course, weather, if that's something that matters to you. What is the weather like at that school? That's what comes to mind right away in terms of the fit.
Yeah.
Um, Also, you need to understand what is your role, what is your role going to be on the team? Will you be able to play your first year? Um, are you are they thinking about redshirting you? Are you okay with that? Do you understand what that means? Um, are you going to not play? Are you okay with that? Those are some of the questions I think that you need to ask
Yeah.
because I don't ever think anybody should go into a situation thinking I'm only going to be here this year and then I'm transferring out. I'm
Yeah.
going
That's a
to,
bad way to look at it because to, I mean, this could be an insane side tangent, but people don't think about the kids that enter the transfer portal and don't get chosen. It's the percentage is so high, and people are just like, "Oh, well, I'll just transfer. I'll just." I'm like, "You're gonna be in limbo."
you're going to get in that portal and get stuck.
Yeah.
Right. You're not coming out. It's really sad. That makes me sad too. Because I always think, when I see kids jump, like kids going on in third year in college and they're going into their third school, I think, what was so bad that you had to leave?
Yeah.
And then the kids that jump in and don't come out, it's just, I'm like, why did you do that? What was so bad that you had to get in the portal? Nothing. They were chasing money.
Yeah.
They're chasing money.
And not they and
I
some of
understand
them.
there's a lot of it out there. Don't get me wrong. But you need to have a plan and you better have your representative talk to some people before you go to compliance and say, I want to transfer.
Yeah.
You better know what is going on, what's happening.
Yeah.
That's,
And some of them
yeah.
just they just gotta learn how to fight and just figure it out.
Which I think a, some kids have an issue. They don't know how to do it because they've always been at the top, right?
Yeah.
So they get into that college situation and they're no longer the big dog because everybody's the big dog.
Yeah.
And you are the one who's coming in. You're the freshman. You don't have the experience. You don't even know how we play this game here. Like what you did in high school was cute, but that does not
It's not gonna work.
equate to what's about to happen here, right?
Yeah.
So they can't take starting at the bottom and having to work their way back up. So that's something that they need to ask during the recruiting process. If you know that you're a kid that doesn't work hard or is not willing to start at the bottom to get back up to the top, then maybe it's not for you, you
Yeah.
know? That's not the school for you.
Yeah. So the last things I want to wrap up with
Yeah.
is about the newest landscape and just overall for college. I think we're just getting started with how things are going to change. I don't think we're in a place where we're seeing, a final outlook. I think it's going to get kind of crazy. I think there's going to be a lot of separation of leagues and teams and kind of branching off. This is kind of my own opinion of what I'm seeing.
Uh-huh.
And also with the really small schools that some of these kids go to, like some of them are just going out of business. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, this is our last year.
Yeah.
And I'm warning some of my players, like, if you're going to go to one of these small schools, you got to kind of watch out for the signs and kind of look at the enrollment and just, know what
Yeah.
to look for. I'm trying to learn what to look for so I can tell them. But how do you, for one, like, how do you see the changes happening? And do you have any predictions as far as what the NCAA might look like? And then also, what should a sophomore, be preparing for in 3 years? Like, how do they adapt to the things that may or may not happen?
So for my life, I always have made it a point to only focus on what's happening right now. So what I mean by that is I can't allow myself to get bogged down or concerned or worried about what may happen. Because I honestly, I don't know. Like, I do not know what is about to happen. Because it's just so wild. Like, I never would have imagined that college kids would be making hundreds of thousands of dollars to play 1 year. And I'm talking about cash, not the value of their scholarship, but they're getting paid.
Yeah,
I never would have even imagined that. So I don't know what's about to come. I think I think the best strategy is just to take what is here now, what we know now, and just continue along that new path, right? Because if I start thinking about the what ifs, I'm going to be paralyzed into inaction. So
yeah,
I just I didn't do that with my kids in school. I didn't do that with their recruiting process. I just went with what was. When it presented itself, then I dealt with it. And that's the way that I think people need to really deal with this new landscape with the NC2A. And it is new. And I think it's new. And every day there's like another or whispering or rumor about something else that's about to happen or misinformation about, how JUCO kids now
oh
still
yeah.
have it. Like,
I don't know how people even, like, all you had to do was just read 2 articles.
that's it right there. The
And I'm like,
read.
how do
They
you
don't,
guys think this applies to every single kid? They're gonna play 6 years in college. That's not real.
it's mind-boggling. But that's so I just like yeah, you're right. This is what I do see happening already is that the big programs are just going to get bigger. And the smaller programs, the smaller schools are going to just fold and disappear. And
Yeah,
maybe not the entire school, but the athletic department. I don't think people outside of athletics really understand how much money it takes to run an athletic department.
yeah,
It's a huge expense, right? So it's a huge expense for smaller schools, but then for these big juggernauts, that's how they make their money, right? If you got a big football program and you're playing on TV every week, the money from TV alone
yeah.
can float the school for 2 or 3 years.
It's floating
From
all those
TV
small
alone.
sports that they don't even.
That's right. That do not generate any revenue.
Yeah,
They simply cost. That's how it's funded. So I will say if if my daughter was going through volleyball recruiting again, we would only be looking at, and we could do this because she was that type of athlete, right? I would only be looking at schools that had big football programs.
That makes because they're gonna stay alive.
They're going to stay alive and they're going to thrive.
Yeah.
They're going to stay alive and they're going to thrive. Because if football eats, everybody eats.
hmm
That's
It
just
football's
that's
king.
the way it is.
It,
Football
no
is
matter how
king.
good basketball is, like it's
Right.
football is always gonna be king. Just
That's
that's just
right.
how it
That's
operates.
right. I mean, yeah, basketball television money is cute. That's nice. And it does help, but it does not compare to football money.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
It's not close. Same with the NBA and NFL. NFL is just like it doesn't matter what the NBA decides to do. The NFL will
Oh,
always be king. It's just
always.
how it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, football. Um, and NIL does that, so that plays a role in this new landscape as well. Um, but like I said, that's a different conversation for us probably. But kids want to be paid and they deserve to be paid because that's how it is now, right? So it doesn't matter if people think, well, the scholarship, that is their payment. No, not anymore. Now
Yeah.
is you need to be putting money in my account.
Yeah. You
Like
got a
that's
full. You used to have a full ride, and then you can't eat. It's like that was a real thing. People don't know. Like
oh,
you'd be at college, be the best player on
listen,
campus, and there's not you barely have any money in your pocket.
can't order a pizza.
Yeah.
When I was in school, we had lots of kids like that. And they couldn't order pizza from Domino's. And this was back when it was Domino's was if they didn't deliver the pizza in 30 minutes, it was free.
Yeah.
So they looking like, oh my gosh, it's about like we're gonna get a free pizza. Like that was the plan. They didn't have money to wash clothes. They didn't have money like to go to a movie, just simple stuff.
Yeah.
But that's where the stipend came in, right? So they started Division 1 schools at some programs started offering stipends and they were generous and
Yeah.
that was great. But now this whole NIL just takes it to a whole nother
Yeah.
level.
It's
And I'm
upside down
happy
now.
for kids. I'm
Yeah. It's what it should have been. So they're making up for it.
Yeah, yeah. And those that are there and that are playing in this time, I want them to get everything that they have.
Yeah. They
I
got to.
want them. They deserve it. They've earned it. I want them to get it. Um, I think it's more important than ever that parents and their student athletes start to build their brand early. So
Yeah.
like we were talking about with the social media, you cannot wait. The portal and NIL is just more of a reason to do it even earlier.
Yeah. Because
So
it's hard
yeah,
to build a brand. So like the sooner you start, the more you figure out how to do it. By the time
right.
you start, if you're already 16, 17, you just starting building your brand. It's by the time it gets good enough, it's not going to be worth anything.
No, no, it's not gonna be worth it. Yeah, anything. You're right.
Yeah. Really quick, I got to interrupt this to give a shout out to Athlete Narrative. They're one of the affiliates of the channel, and they have an app where you can reach out to any college coach in the nation, like literally D1, D2, D3, JUCO, NAI. It literally has any coach that you need to reach out to. And so if you're serious about getting recruited, I think you need to go get that. And it does cost $20 a month, but on my website, you can actually get it for $15 a month. It's grandmasterhoops.com/recruiting. And to be honest, I wouldn't promote anything for money that I wouldn't promote for free. Like literally, if I didn't get paid to promote this, I would still be telling people that they need to go get this. I think it's one of the best recruiting resources available in the world right now, especially for what it can do. It like you can build a pay. It's all types of stuff. So go to grandmasterhoops.com/recruiting if you want to learn more about that. And on there, I'm also going to have a lot of free resources. And so just go on there if you want to learn anything that has to do with recruiting. But anyways, enjoy this. So I got a last couple ones that I took from the audience. Actually, one of these I made up. One of these other ones
Okay.
I've been asked a lot of times. So one of them, I have a national or a global audience,
Okay.
and people from different countries are wondering, like, I don't know if you know anybody that's been in this situation or know how it goes, but if there's a kid in Australia or a kid in Europe or something, and they want to play Division 1, Division 2 basketball in the United States, is there a different process? Because I
Yeah.
know the exposure is still going to be king, but is there other things that they need to do to kind of get themselves on the right path?
Um, so I do know several international athletes that played at the Division 1 level, and the process is still the same. They international students still need to register with the NCAA. They still have, it's even more important probably for them to do the film and emailing to the coaches and to get that social proof going um, with their social media accounts. Um, but I think once the school is ready to extend an offer, I know there is additional paperwork that has to be done, but the school will handle that. The
Gotcha.
athlete doesn't have to worry about it, but they do need to start a little. They need to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it could be hard. It might be harder for coaches to see the kid in person. So that's why I think it's beneficial if you have started the exposure and the communication part, it's going to be a little bit easier to build a relationship if you've been doing it for a couple years.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That makes sense. And do you happen to know any of the events, like maybe like in Canada or maybe in Spain, like the events that they need to be at to I guess verify their competition level?
Um, so Canada they have some high level basketball teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're at EYBL, like
So
they're
they
playing.
have their teams that come over and go to those events. Got you.
They do, yeah. Um, I'm trying. My son has a guy from Australia on his team. Um, how did he get here? I do not know. I do not know his journey. I'll find
Okay.
out. I'll get back to you. But yeah, and my daughter played with somebody from Brazil on her team at in Texas, so it definitely can be done.
Got you. And
And
is
it's
it?
done often.
Yeah, it's hard. Like it's
Mhm.
because you're not here. It's just
Right.
it's the same
Right.
as players over here trying to go play in the Premier League. It's like you're
You
just
know
not
how
there.
some, right, some coaches create these pipelines. So they might have a great coach, like a great club coach, in Brazil or in Portugal or Australia or wherever. And the club coach there sends one player over, and then the coach is like, okay, you're my person, just keep sending them. So sometimes you'll see a team that has 3 and 4 players from the same country, and you're like, how did that happen? Well, the coach created a pipeline relationship with somebody in that country, and that's how it happened.
Gotcha. That makes complete sense. Does
Hmm.
that does that look like a player having to come over here and play on a high school level, or can it be? Because I've
No.
seen it go from wherever they're at directly into D1. Is
Yep.
is there one of those where is it either of those easier, or kind of they both have their own ways of working and they're both like kind of equally hard?
I don't know right offhand, but my guess would be that they're equally as hard.
Okay, that's what I would guess too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My guess would be that it's still going to be a grind
Okay.
and an uphill battle.
Got you. Yeah, I always try to help
Mhm.
the international kids out. I'm like, it's tough. Like you're just not
Uh,
here. It's like proximity matters. Same.
right,
It's and they don't know it's the same for the kid in Wyoming, or the same for the kid in North Dakota. It's like it's
right.
easier because you're on land, but also you're at,
Yeah.
it's
And
500
the
miles from the best event.
right. And the great thing is you can email from anywhere,
Yeah,
right?
internet's everywhere.
That's what they need to be doing. Right. They
Got
need to
you.
be emailing. Yeah.
And so for my last question right here,
Hmm.
the unsigned senior, um, the kid that there's no offer, they don't know they're about to enter their senior year. It's
Yeah.
September, it's August. What does for one, what do they need to do to give themselves the best chance to find
Wait,
somewhere
it's
by the
September or August
like about to
before
end?
their senior
Yeah,
year.
yeah, about to enter their
Okay.
senior year of
All right.
school, and then they can transition.
Okay.
Um,
So they still have a sliver of,
yeah,
all
it's
right.
it's a tiny window.
Right. It's tiny, but I know that volleyball, you can play your 18, you can play your senior year. Club volleyball, you can go to nationals and compete there
Like after or during the April time.
during the
Okay,
spring of the senior year. And I know that for basketball, unsigned seniors can compete as well. There are um, there are certain clubs, I mean, certain tournaments that actually have showcases for unsigned seniors. Um,
and would that be a team basis, or would that be like an individual sign up and it's like a bunch of kids at a, or maybe both?
both,
Okay.
both. So let me think. So when my oldest son finished high school, he was not, okay, yes. So when he finished high school, he was not committed because he was going to do that post grad year at Sunrise Christian. He played on he played on an AAU team, and they went to several tournaments. There was no issue. He was able to play everywhere now that I think about it, everywhere they went. And it was not a team full of unsigned seniors. He was, I think maybe there were maybe two on that team.
Got you.
There were maybe two on that team. Is that right?
So it's still kind
Yeah.
of the same process, just you got to speed it up.
Yeah, I think really at that point you need to double down. Whatever you were doing in terms of exposure and communication, you need to 3x that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Compress all that time into like
Compress
this.
it.
That makes
Yes.
sense.
Like that needs to be your job.
Yeah.
You have got to tap in.
Yeah.
That's got to be your job,
Gonna have to hire
right?
somebody on Upwork or something.
You need
Send
to
out
do
these
something right.
emails.
A
Send these
Fiverr or
emails.
something, right?
Yeah.
You need to get serious, right?
Got you. And to piggyback really quick, before we end, you mentioned a lot about the EYBLs and the top circuit teams.
Yeah.
And this is something I didn't get to ask, but when it comes to getting on those teams, what does that look like? Because I know they have like the second team, the third team, and then there's like the 16, there's the 15U. Like when a player wants to say, okay, I want to give myself a shot to play EYBL or play Adidas, the top. Is it like what do you see from that standpoint of how to do that?
It's pretty much locked down. Like you're not gonna, if they don't come for you, it's just like high level, like the Blue Bloods, the high level D1 programs. Those coaches recruit players, right? They recruit their EYBL team, they recruit their Adidas team. And if they don't recruit you, you're not going to play for. It's just that simple. They might even have a tryout, but if they have a tryout, it's going to be for the lower level teams, not the EYBL team, not the Adidas. It's not called the Gauntlet anymore. Whatever
Oh,
it's,
the Adidas Rise, or
yeah.
I
Well,
believe.
that's the lower
Oh, that's
level.
the lower one.
Rise is the
The
lower
top one is,
level,
yeah,
right?
it's like 3 SSB or something. They changed it. Yes.
3SSB, right. They're not, yeah, if there is a tryout, it's going to be for a lower level, and you're not going to have all the benefits uh, that you get from being on the top team,
Yeah.
right? Like you're not getting the free shoot, you're not getting all the free gear, you're not traveling for free. Like mom and dad are still going to be paying for flights and hotel rooms and training and everything like that. Um, yeah,
And
it's tough.
and do they recruit from that pool of kids that they have like on those lower teams? Is it kind of like, okay, let me amass the kids that are at least, or what, like how do they find them? if you, I mean, I know it's like it's a good luck,
Yeah.
you know,
So,
but
um, usually what happens is your child will start in the grassroots stage of these high level clubs. So let's say a team takeover. In my area, we have takeover, team takeover, and we have team Durant. We have team Thrill, team Mellow. Like uh, those are our four EYBL teams, Nike teams. So kids will start in third grade, fourth grade playing on the grassroots team. So they're still traveling and playing everywhere, but it doesn't really, then nobody really is paying that much attention because whatever a kid's doing in third grade, we don't know
yeah,
how they're going to grow. There's too many variables.
yeah,
But if the kid does, in fact, grow and develop, continue to develop, then they're probably going to be slotted right in to EYBL, which starts at 15. So
yeah.
there's 15, 15, U15, U16, U17. Um, but other than that, the coaches are going recruiting. They're going around to the high schools in your area because the rule is I think they can have everybody has to be local, but I think we can have two players on an EYBL team that are from outside the area. And by local, I mean the state. Here in our area, we're very fortunate because you can be in Virginia, but Virginia touches
I was gonna say that's about what
DC
is it,
and
3 or 4 right there? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right, right. Um, I'm thinking on my son's team, we had a player from Florida and a player from New Jersey or Texas. So, those were our two out of the area kids, but they were on the team because they either went to school in this area or they knew that their trainer sent them or somehow or some way.
That's what I had noticed because there's a kid here from a small town. He ended up playing on Mocan's top team, and
Yeah,
then there
Mocan.
was a kid from the kid that I used to watch train. He was on Team Beal from Nebraska, and
Uh-huh.
so I saw a couple of those
Yeah.
instances, and I always wondered it has to just be a connection thing of like they happen to know this player, so then
Yeah.
let's kind of connect the ties and
Yeah.
make it work.
And let's invite him. Some of those kids, like those two you probably mentioned, they might have had other offers as well. And at some point, money does become a factor. Like
Yeah,
they'll say, teams will say, we'll pay, for your parents to come to every tournament, or you only have to come to practice 2 days before we go to session 3 or session 2, and we'll pay for your hotel in town and your meals and stuff like that.
got you.
Yeah, because obviously those shoot teams they've got to win to keep their money, keep
Yeah.
their deal in place.
So it's one of those things. By the time if you're in seventh, eighth grade, and you're not in that world, then it's kind of too late unless you just are phenomenal and then you make the connection. Pretty much what it
Right.
looked like.
It pretty much starts around eighth grade.
Okay,
So eighth grade tryouts, if you're not on one of their teams in eighth grade, you're probably not going to be on one of their teams.
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I have a last selfish question. I don't mean to take too much of your time.
No,
Um,
I'm happy to be here. I'm enjoying this, Coach.
I appreciate it. For a program that wants to become that, because in Nebraska there is no EYBL. We have one Puma team. I think we have an Adidas team. I gotta look again. What have you ever seen a program that starts from somewhere and then they build themselves up and then they get that offer to play on the EYBL? Like, what does that
Yeah,
look like?
yeah. So actually, I have this guy was a trainer he trained both of my sons, and he was just a trainer. And then he started an AAU team,
Yeah,
and he just did like, I think he did like older kids, so like let's say high school age. And he was one of the best trainers in our area. Lo and behold, three three years ago, Adidas came and said, "We want you to create a team to be on the Adidas circuit." And he was like, I don't really want to do it because Nike had been after him for years.
Yeah.
And Adidas came and offered, and they offered, a huge amount of money. And um, he all he wanted to do was coach the kids. He didn't want to get caught up in the politics and the drama of AAU, especially at that level.
It's a lot up there.
Oh
It's
my
I got to
God.
be around
Oh,
the Missouri Phenom team. It's insane what they go through.
right. So what happened is Adidas said, Adidas or this trainer found somebody who could kind of like be the administrator, like the manager.
Yeah. That's
And then
smart.
so that all he had to do was coach. And first year on the circuit, his team won 16U,
That's
16U
wild.
national,
That's
right?
awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
That is.
So, yeah, we got to be a part of that ride, but he literally was a trainer. And then, the shoe brands came knocking because they saw what he was doing, who he was, the kids he was developing.
Got you. So they look at kind of the talent that the program's associated with, because I think at the end of the day it's all about
Yeah.
the talent, like it's all about the kids and the players, and so they're
Yeah.
like, how do we get those players to be in our league or our system? And it's like, oh, we have to go
Yeah.
after their coach or their
That's
trainer.
right. Right. And because then the relationship and everything is about relationships. I don't care what they say. Everything comes down to relationships. So you have a kid. So coach has a kid on his Adidas team, right? So now we're going to these Adidas tournaments. All coaches are there, but the coaches who have Adidas sponsored programs are going to have maybe like an inside track to get in the kid if it's an Adidas kid. Same with Nike. If we got a Nike kid, there's a great chance he's going to stay with Nike in college because there's money involved in this.
Yeah, it's all about the
Everybody,
people don't know how much it tracks back to the shoes. It's the shoe is,
you
if it's
don't
not for the
know.
shoes, it's just,
It,
what's it for?
I mean, that's why there are rules when you play on these teams. You have to wear the brand.
Yeah.
You have to wear it. It's just, and so they give you the clothes so you don't have an excuse to not wear it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, here's everything you now.
Yes, here's everything. Now
Yeah.
go out here and hoop, right? Go win this championship.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that really I haven't seen that to the level I'm talking about in any sport other than basketball.
Basketball's the most intense because I think it's the basketball shoes are also the most popular type of shoe, and so it's like no one's really buying football cleats
But wear it
unless you're
right.
playing. They're not really wearing volleyball shoes, so it's like track even. There's nothing there for that, and so it's like the
Right.
shoe for the basketball is just a staple in all of culture, let alone just
And
sports
it's
in
right.
general.
Now it has its own culture, sneaker heads, all of that.
Yeah.
It's fascinating if you're not in it, right?
Right.
Fascinating, right?
It is. So the last point, is there any, I mean, I know we went over so much. I think that's insanely helpful for a lot of players that and parents that just, they, if they're going to watch this, they probably, their world probably got turned upside down of like, oh, it's all of this. It's like, I thought it was just, a couple tournaments here and there, do whatever. Is there any bits of wisdom that you want to give to the parents or the players that don't know and that they're just finding out of what they actually have to do, and now they're in this point of decision: do we pursue this, or do we just let it be, the same path that we're going to be on? Like, is there any wisdom that you want to give to those parents that are trying to make that decision of going down this path?
Well, the one thing that I say, I try to put every day on my story is that raising champions, meaning recruiting, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And I don't care if your kid is elite or average, like it's still a lot of work, and you have the kid who is being pursued by the schools and then the kid who's not being pursued, but even the one who's being pursued, like it's exhausting going through, answering the phone, taking calls, emails, invitations to different camps. I know some people think that's a great problem to have, and it is. It's a blessed situation, but it's still a problem. And it still adds to the whole, it's a marathon, not a sprint, because a kid, you can get an offer in 10th grade and commit, but you still got 2 more
You still got to
years.
perform.
Right. That you got to perform. And coaches change jobs like they've got their own transfer portal situation going on. So it's tricky. So if you're gonna do it, I need you to lock in because it's a long road and it's not linear, right?
Yeah, I love that
Like
you
you
said that. I
Google.
say that all the time. There's gonna
It's
be downs and it looks like it's going nowhere, but that's
right.
also going forward.
Right. And that's when you have to really stay tuned in, stay committed to the process. Because you can't see it, but it's, because it's not linear. It's up and down. It's a roller coaster. I need parents to be proactive. You've got to be proactive. Don't sit around here and wait on anybody. You've got to take control of the situation. There are people out here willing to help. You've got to take control. And there are many ways, there are many paths to get to where you want to go, right? So maybe your kid was not highly recruited uh, in 10th grade or 11th grade, but that's okay. There are other paths. Maybe they don't have the big offers when they are about to graduate. So that we've got junior college, we have prep schools, we have post grad opportunities. Like there are different ways to get to where you want to go. Maybe you do have to start at I don't know, D3, D2, NAIA, wherever you start. As my husband always says, it's not where you start, it's where you finish, right? So whatever the situation may be, create a path for that, a plan, and work your plan. And just remember that everybody's recruiting story is different. Every single person. I have 3 kids, same household, same genes, but their paths were all different. But they all ended up, Division 1 with full rides.
Yeah, and that's what it's for.
That's what it's for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was for us, right?
Yeah. Um, Thanks again. That like I think
Awesome.
there's a lot of things that I got to understand and things that I didn't know. I'm like, okay, that makes more sense to me now. And things that I'd always thought that just got confirmed. And so now when I'm able to talk to a kid and they're like, what do I do in this situation? I have a little bit more of a sense of the reality of the situation.
Mhm.
And so then they can go forward with that same sense, hopefully.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah,
your experience and your knowledge of just the ins and outs of what the path really looks like, super helpful. So I can't thank
good,
you enough for
good.
doing
I'm
this.
so glad.
How can people find you and connect with you?
I am on TikTok right now, and my handle is raising champions underscore after champions. Um, I'm launching my podcast later this month, and I plan to do Instagram as well. So right now, I started 4 or 5 months ago on TikTok, and
You made
it's
some good
comfortable.
progress in that time.
I know, I'm
That's
so
that's
excited. It's
nice.
comfortable and I enjoy it. So that's where I am right now.
I appreciate you sticking around to the end of this interview, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Like, this was super impactful for me personally. I hope it was the same for you. It was really enlightening, and to be honest, it changed my brain, like of how I think about things now when it comes to basketball and recruiting, and how I'm gonna approach training and how I'm gonna approach my teams and just all these different things. It really did make a change for me, and so I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I think she over delivered. I didn't really have any expectations, but I just, regardless of what they were going to be, she was probably going to over deliver my expectations. So I'm super thankful to her for being on here. And make sure if you have a TikTok to go and thank her and tell her that you watched the episode. And I might put her email in the description if I can find it. Just, look in the description so you can email her as well. But I hope you got a lot out of this. And I hope you take some of this information and you apply it to your situation. For anything else that has to do with recruiting, go to grandmasterhoops.com/recruiting and I can help you there.